Managing backups in Plesk. This tutorial will show you how to manage backups in Plesk. For this demonstration, we logged into Plesk as the admin user. If you're logging in as a client or domain administrator, the navigation will differ slightly and some of the options will not be available in your control panel. Whenever possible, we will note the differences in access levels in this tutorial. Click the Domains link. Click the domain name. Under a client's panel, the domains owned by that client will be listed at the bottom of the main menu accessed by clicking the Home link in the navigation panel on the left. In Plesk, backup settings are configured at the domain level for each individual domain. You will need to configure each one individually if you want an automatic backup routine set up for all your domains. Access to the backup configuration for domains can be granted for all levels of users except email users. Access to the backup utility also grants access to scheduling backups. Backing up large domains can be very resource intensive, so you may want to schedule automatic backups so that they are run during non-peak times and no more than one domain is being backed up at one time. It is also common to restrict access to this functionality to keep clients and domain administrators from running more than one simultaneously and thus adversely affecting the performance of the server. For more information configuring setting-specific access levels for clients and domain administrators, refer to the following respective tutorials: Managing Clients in Plesk and Managing Domains in Plesk. Click the backup icon. Under a Domain Administrator's panel, the backup icon is located in the main menu accessed by clicking the Home link in the navigation panel on the left. Plesk gives us the ability to schedule automatic backups that are transferred via FTP to a remote server for safekeeping. First, let's look at the FTP configuration for this. Click the FTP Account Properties icon. Enter the FTP server. This will either be the host name or IP address of the remote server. Enter the base directory on FTP server. This will be the directory on the remote server where you will be storing the backups. Enter the FTP login. Enter the FTP password. Enter the Confirm FTP password. Click the OK button. Now, let's look at the configuration for scheduling automatic backups. Click the Scheduled Backup Settings icon. Select the backup period. Select the backup time. Select the Backup Files repository location. The first option here stores the backups locally. The second one uses the FTP account we configured earlier. Enter the maximum number of stored backup files. This value controls how many backups are allowed to be in the repository for this domain at any given time. Once the maximum has been reached, Plesk will automatically delete the oldest backup to make room for the new one. Since our backup routine will be scheduled to run daily, entering the value of 7 for the maximum should configure the system to keep backups for 1 week before the oldest one will be removed. This is a common configuration for backup routines. Enter the backup file names we'll begin with. This is a prefix that will be used for the file name of the backups that will help us know which domain it belongs to on the remote server. Since mailboxes can become rather large, Plesk gives us the option to select whether we want to include mailbox content in the backup or not. To ensure database integrity and limit the load on the server while the backup routine is running, Plesk gives us the option to temporarily suspend the account during the backup process. Click the OK button. By default, the new routine is not enabled when we first save it. Let's enable it. Click the Switch On icon. Now let's go back and look at how to do an immediate backup of the domain. Click the Backup Files repository link. Click the Create Backup icon. Select the backup method. Plesk gives us 3 options. The first one will save the backup in a local repository on the server. The second will prompt us to download it to our local machine, and the third will automatically transfer it to a remote location via FTP. For this demonstration, we will download the backup to our local machine. Plesk auto-populates these fields with the FTP account information entered earlier. This information will be used only if we'd selected the third option. Selecting the third option would also enable the fields to edit if we wanted to use a different FTP account than the one we entered earlier. Enter the backup file name. Here we can enter additional comments about the backup that we're performing. Here is an option to suspend the domain. Here is the one that determines if mailbox content will be included or not. A notification will be sent to this email address. By default, this is auto-populated with the address stored for the user that is logged in to Plesk. Click the Backup button. Click the Save button. Click the Save button. Click the Close button when the transfer is finished. Now let's cover uploading and restoring from a backup. Click the Up-Level link. Click the Browse button. Click the file. Click the Open button. Clicking this button will upload it to the remote FTP server. Click the Upload button to upload it to this server. Now let's restore from it. Click the backup file name. Click the Restore button. There is no option to selectively restore part of an archive from within Plesk. To restore only certain content would require extracting the content from the archive and then manually into the account instead of using the restore function covered in this tutorial. Now let's remove the backup from the server. Click the checkbox to select the backup. Click the Remove Selected link. Click the Confirm Removal checkbox. Click the OK button. Plesk does give us the option to manage database backups without having to deal with a full backup of the entire domain. Click the Database Backup Repository icon. Let's back up a database. Click the Backup Now icon. Select the database to back up. Enter the backup file name. Click the OK button. Now let's download it for safekeeping. Click the link. Click the Save button. Click the Save button. Click the Close button when the transfer is finished. Click the Cancel button. If we needed to download it again, we could do so by clicking this icon. Now let's remove it from the server. Click the checkbox to select the backup. Click the Remove Selected link. Click the Confirm Removal checkbox. Click the OK button. Finally, let's upload our local copy and restore from it. click the Upload Backup File icon. Select the database name. Click the Browse button. Click the file. Click the Open button. Plesk gives us the option to restore the database immediately after uploading the backup automatically. However, in order to demonstrate how to restore from a backup that has already been uploaded, we're going to uncheck this option. Click the OK button. Now let's restore the database. Click the checkbox to select the backup. Click the Restore Selected link. Click the Confirm the Restoration checkbox. Click the OK button. Congratulations! You now know how to manage backups in Plesk.